screenshots, pictures, how it didn't happen, boo. Alright, forget 100 likes. Let's get to part 2 of the My Best Friend Stole My Ex story time. Disclaimer before we get into the story time. These videos are made with no malicious intent, no ill intent. They are not meant to like offend anybody. I'm simply telling my life experiences. This is my platform. You can leave my platform if you like. However, no one can tell me whether to not upload a video or whether to upload a video. I'm grown. This is my choice. And I will proceed as such. So, again, if you are offended, none of these videos are made to offend anyone. These are past situations that I'm over. And if you don't like it, you can exit the video. Alright, now let's get into the story time. By the way, if you haven't already, go back and watch part 1 to this video because there won't be any recap. I will just be continuing straight into the story. So I'm over Tamara's house and I seen a notification from my boyfriend on her phone. And I'm confused because I'm sitting here like, why would my boyfriend be texting Tamara? So I go, you know, I know this is nosy, but I go into her chat history and I look under their messages, and by the way, I see he's at the top. So this means that they've been texting recently and for a while, because when I looked on there, like, I seen threads and threads of messages, and I'm sitting here like, what? But I tried not to trip about it because I did know that my boyfriend at the time told me that they were texting, but most of the conversations were about me. Or no, not most. The conversations were about me. So I'm sitting in here, you know, I got a little curious. I wanted to know what they were talking about me. So some conversations would be like, have you heard from her? Have you gotten a text from her yet? Stuff like that. But then, like, as time went on, the conversations got more and more friendly, more and more comfortable. And, you know, I don't mind people being cordial with each other. However, when the texts get into, like, good morning with, like, flirty emojis and stuff like that, that's when things are getting a little too far, because this is how, this small stuff is how bigger stuff evolves, to me at least. Hey guys, I just want to hop in here real quick and say here are some of the messages between me and my boyfriend at that time, and basically I'm explaining or asking about the situation about the good morning text and the flirty face emoji, and he's just trying to defend himself as he always does, never sees the wrong in what he's doing. And I also, in this part, was explaining to him I don't see how you could text her good morning when I had basically had to fuss and pull teeth with you to get a good morning text. But anyways, you guys can read that on your own. So, I'm looking through the messages. It'd be like, what are you doing today? How was your day? What'd you eat today? You know, stuff like that. I'm sitting here like, I thought you told me these messages were about me. But instead, you're having friendly conversation with her. So I'm not upset with the girl. I was upset with my boyfriend because at the end of the day, I'm not in a relationship with her. I'm in a relationship with him. So I asked him, I said, hey, I noticed you had, when I was over at Tamara's house, there were some messages between you and her. By the way, while I was looking at those messages, I took some pictures using my phone off of her phone. Because I wanted to, if he tried to deny it, I'd be like, no, let's never have that happen. Screenshots, pictures, how it didn't happen, boo. So I did that, and he admitted to it. He was like, yeah, we text sometimes. Yeah, conversations aren't always about you. But, you know, we do text from time to time. Now, mind you, in the last story time, I stated that he never wanted me to add one of his friends on Snapchat, talk to one of his friends on Snapchat, none of that. The only person I had added that he knew was his best friend. And me and his best friend didn't even talk. The only time we spoke was when I asked something about a picture he posted of, I guess, his cousin, because it was a little baby. I was like, oh, she's so cute. And that's where the conversation ended. It was not much to the conversation. I even let him know when it happened. So them having conversations and then me being oblivious to these conversations, I didn't like that, considering all the strict guidelines he had for me. So I'm asking him, I'm like, so what's going on? Like, I'm a little confused because you told me X, Y, and Z, but you're doing the same thing you told me not to do, right? Okay, so I said, honestly, I'm going to let you know, while I don't mind you both following each other on Snapchat, these messages are getting a little too friendly, and I feel like that's how stuff evolves, that's how stuff starts, because this is exactly the same route Tamara's relationship took in the last story time, and how her and his cousin broke up. So when I said that, he was like, oh, okay, I get it, I understand. He told me like it wouldn't happen again because I let him know that it bothered me, and I felt as though because I let him know it bothered me, I should also let her know. I'd appreciate if you not respond to him or text him on an understanding level. And a few days after I told him that, I did let her know, and she told me she understood. So we're gonna fast forward. This is around about a week and a half before my birthday. Everything happens on my birthday. Alright, so this is a week and a half before my birthday, and what I noticed one day was, I don't remember how exactly it happened, but somehow I found out they sent more messages after that conversation I had with the both of them, and I was irritated by it. And I'm just like, you both of you told me you understood, and I want to say it's because I seen her notification pop up on his phone. Don't quote me, I can't remember 100%. This was so many years ago. And I'm just like, why are you all still texting when I asked you not to? Like, I don't do this to your friends. Why? Like, what are y'all talking about? That's so important. Or why can't you guys not talk to each other? Not talk to each other. And he's like, no, it's nothing serious. I was like, but you just told me last week that you understood as to why I didn't want you to talk to her, and the fact that we were going to keep the relationship fair. If I can't talk to your friends, you can't talk to my friends. You guys can follow each other, but these deep conversations, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? Da da. No, we had that understanding, and you're acting like you don't recall that conversation. By the way, mind you, before I had an iPhone, I used to like to get on Snapchat on my Android. Now, we all know how Androids are. At least then. They were very much fuzzy, very much not giving clarity in videos, very much not giving at all. They just weren't, it just was not giving. It was giving me blurriness. So he had an iPhone, and I wanted to use his iPhone to be like on Snapchat and stuff like that. Now, he never liked me to get on his phone or anything like that. And like I said, I don't have a problem with people having friends, but he says the reason he doesn't like me being on his phone was for this one instance of where, and there's a message between us and about that. Even he admitted the whole thing was a joke, what I did. But it's some reason it still got under his skin, and I'm just like, well, if you have nothing to hide, I'm getting ahead of myself. Alright, so he didn't like me to use his phone. He just didn't want me to use his phone, and it made me feel like he had something to hide. And I'm just like, if you have nothing to hide, why can't I look at your phone? If all these conversations are friendly and it should be nothing to hide. There should be no reason as to why you have a problem with me seeing your phone. And one day I had slid over, and I was just looking at the messages. I didn't even click on any of them. I just was looking at the names. I wasn't bothered. I wasn't upset. I was like, I know he got friends, whatever. And like a lot of these people are people he knew before we even met. So I know half of these people, so I'm not bothered by it. But he acted like he got irritated with me that day, and I'm just like, okay. I said, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. And like, there were times he would go through my phone, see messages on my phone that were friendly. I had nothing to hide. I knew he would use my phone. I wasn't bothered by it. But it's a simple fact that he would get mad at some of those messages or some of the people that would be texting me. And I'm just like, hold up. You don't want me going through your phone, so you can't go through my phone. Like, we're not going to make this whole situation even. We're going to keep this whole thing balanced. But he had a problem with, me using his phone, but it was no problem when he used my phone. And I found that to be a problem. So that happens, and after a while I told him, no, I don't want you using my phone anymore if you're going to go through my messages, and I can't even do the same thing to your phone because that's very much hypocritical. So let's just keep our phones to ourselves. It's simple as that. Moving on, back to the story, like the main part of the story, or one of the main parts of the story. This is a long story. We're talking about that. We're talking about the messages I seen between him and her still going on. He's apologizing, but he's also stating he doesn't see why he can't text her. And I'm just like, okay, who do you want to be with, her or me? Like, why would you ask me why you can't text my best friend? That sounds a little off in my ears. Maybe I'm built different, but it really just sounds a little off to me. And plus, another reason why I was not comfortable with them talking or, really being friends like that was because of some comments that Tamara made a while back. So me and Tamara, like I said, we were very close. I considered her a sister. No hate towards her. There were times like I would be talking to her about him, like whether we'd be having a problem, or you know, we're just talking about our then boyfriends in general. Yeah, I don't know what the conversation was about exactly, but I do remember her saying,
honestly, I think your boyfriend's kind of cute.
I think your boyfriend's cute.
If 2 + 2 is 4, right? And 5 + 5 is 10. Okay. What the fuck is this?
How am I supposed to take that? I said, oh, okay. You know, I tried not to take it the wrong way. I tried not to look deep into the situation or, you know, that comment at all. Because, like I said, that was supposed to be my best friend, and I didn't expect nothing to evolve from that. However, I just would never compliment any of my friends' boyfriends. I mean, like I said, I'm just built different. You know, some people don't have a problem with it, but it's just nothing I would do. So that happens, and like I said, this all plays into why I'm uncomfortable with them texting. And on top of that, I know they're going to be going to the same college together. It was just a whole lot of emotions in this. So yeah, I'm going off on him. I'm like, you know, you're over here texting this girl good morning. You're over here telling her, you know, just asking her about her days and stuff. And I thought you told me these conversations were only about me. This whole thing comes to a head. I tell him I have an issue with this, that, and the third. He's acting like he's sorry, but he also doesn't understand. And I'm explaining to him, and I keep explaining what the issue is, and he acts like, oh, he doesn't get it. Now, I never mentioned to him the comment that she made until later on in the story, but we'll get to that. So I also have receipts that I'm going to put in here. I also have a screen recording of some of these messages, but I can't put that in here because their names are in it, legal purposes. I can't do that. All this keeps going on. This whole conversation with them texting, like this whole conversation of me explaining why I don't like the situation, goes on for a couple of days. This is not just a one and done day or one and done conversation. This conversation lingered out for almost over a week. I got tired of explaining myself. At that point, I had washed my hands and said, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. There's nothing more I can do. There's nothing more I can say. I've given all I can give. I also mentioned this and brought this up to her too. However, I brought it up to him more because I felt like he owed me more loyalty than she did, honestly. Because I'm dating him, not her. You know, after a few days of apology, I'm just like, I'm done with the conversation. We move on. We keep continuing on. I'm thinking, okay, none of this is going to happen again. A few days go by. We're getting to the week of my birthday, but my birthday, I believe, was going to be on that weekend. So this happened earlier on in the week. Or it might have been reversed. Anyways, you guys get the picture. So everything came to a head like the week of my birthday. I don't remember how exactly. Okay, no, I do. I was texting both of them, and it was taking them a minute to text me this day, and I got a little suspicious because it was both taking them a few minutes to text me back, and usually like they'll respond pretty fast. So, you know, on Snapchat, if you both are close, you both can allow each other to see each other's locations, and like it lets you all know when the last time the person was on the app. Inspector Gadget me, I got a little curious, and I wanted to know when the last time they both were on the app, and it says that they're both on the app now. And I was like, I just wonder if, you know, meet my little suspicious self. But then I tried to talk myself out of thinking that they were both texting each other. So I sent another text. I'm like, hello, hello. Nobody's replying. But I still see that they're both on the app and they're both texting each other. Or no, I see they're both on the app and that, you know, they're not in the same location, but they're both on the app. I can see that. So I believe I had either sent like one of the voice messages on Snapchat, or I believe it was a voice message I sent to my boyfriend on Snapchat. And I said, hey, it's taking you a minute to reply. And, you know, I want you to be honest. Are you texting Tamara? He said, what language do I need to tell you not to text her? Like, are you serious? I said, why? Just, you know how you're so upset? All you can ask is why? I asked him why. And he was just like,
we're just texting off some family stuff.
I go to her, I said, Tamara, are you texting my boyfriend? She's like,
yes, but we're not talking about anything serious.
And I'm just like, are you serious right now? Like, I just told the both of you why I did not want you both texting, and yet you still continue to do the same thing. I don't understand why you guys just can't stop texting each other. And I feel like, you know, I'm looking at the situation like, That's crazy. So you risk your relationship to text Tamara, and you'd risk your friendship to text my boyfriend. That's weird. That's really weird. So, I'm talking to both of them. I'm going at it with both of them. I'm like, why are you both texting each other? Da, da, da. I told you not to text each other. I asked you not to text each other. I explained why I did not want you to text each other. I didn't really feel like I needed an explanation as to why I did not want my best friend to text my ex. So I'm going off by him, tell him this, that, and the third. But I get to her, and I'm doing a little voice thing on Snapchat. I'm in the bathroom, because I'm like having a mental breakdown right then and there. And I'm telling her, I'm like, Tamara, the same thing. I'm on the verge of tears. I'm just over it. I'm like, Tamara, the same thing happened to you and his cousin, which is her ex. I said one of our friends was texting him, and that's why you and him are no longer together. I said I kind of see the same pattern in this relationship right now, my relationship with you texting him, and I would appreciate it if you not text him.
I don't understand. Why can't I text him?
As my best friend, I need a reason as to why I don't want you to text my boyfriend. What world are we living in? Like, that sounds really... I didn't know I needed a reason as to why I didn't want my best friend to text my boyfriend. Let me get back to you. Let me hop over back in his messages. Why were you texting her? I told you not to text her. And, I was upset with the both of them, but I was more so upset with him because I am in a relationship with him, and so I expect more loyalty from him. But on her end, I was upset with her because this same thing happened with you. And you know how it felt. You understood what it was. And yet, now you're coming back around and doing it to me. Like, are you serious? I hop back in his messages. I'm like, da-da-da, I told you not to text her. You're still texting her. You promised me you want to text her. You're so sorry. Da-da-da. You want to tell me don't not to block you, not to stop talking to you, not to break up with you because this, that, and third. But you're not respecting my wishes, so why would you respect any other wishes I may have in the future? He's like, no, but it's not like that, da-da-da, da-da-da, he's just trying to explain, basically defend himself too. And I'm just like, bro, so both of y'all are willing to ruin relationships just so y'all can text each other. I said, y'all just need to be with each other. Just be with each other. And yeah, just let me go. So I'm going off on him. I'm trying to explain to her, I'm like, Tamara, because she's just all with
the whys and I don't understand and I'm confused and I don't know what's going on.
Like, she's acting like she's oblivious. I'm like, Tamara. And this is my most sincere, I feel like this is my most sincere moment in my life. I'm like, Tamara. Because I'm really trying to talk to her as a sister. I said, the same thing happened to you. Do you not understand as to why I do not want you texting him? The same thing happened to you. This is why you and your boyfriend are no longer together. You know that situation, you know how it felt, and you know where I'm coming from. So why are you doing this? Like, I don't understand.
But it's not like that.
I get tired of going off on him. I get tired of explaining to her because they just act like they're not understanding. And with her, I'm emotional, and she's just acting like she doesn't understand. So because you both don't understand, and because this is so complicated, and because I feel like, if I tell both of you to stop talking to each other, I'm pulling you both apart. You guys can be with each other. You're blocked. You're blocked. Both of them are blocked. Cause I was breaking down. I was breaking down and had to hear with both of them. I was done because there's nothing more to talk about. We're done. So, I'm breaking down. I'm crying. I call my other best friend, who is now my only best friend. And I let her know the whole situation of what happened. And I'm like, yeah, I'm explaining to both of them the situation, her situation with her ex, and why I don't want him texting her. And they're acting like they don't understand, they don't get it, they think I'm overreacting, this, that, and the third. And she's like, no, if they really love you, they would respect your wishes. Because she's supposed to be my best friend and he's supposed to be my boyfriend. And I'm just venting to her, I'm crying, I'm upset. And I did that for about a day and a half because I was really hurt, I was really upset, but then at the same time I kind of got over it because I was like, maybe this was my way out of the relationship because I spoke in the last story time that I did not want to be in this relationship anymore because I just want to hop on here and say that I wanted out of this relationship because we were both toxic to each other and it would have been better if we honestly just parted ways. But this is just not how I intended for us to break up. We've had so many cradles throughout this relationship, it just became draining. I found this relationship to at one point or another be very draining. So time goes by, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'll give him a few hours. I had unblocked them, by the way, after, she finished talking to me. I'm thinking, okay, maybe he'll try to text me, message me, or call my mom or something, like try to get in contact with me. Well, I was wrong. I was like, okay, so does he not care? So I'm like, well, honestly, I do value our friendship over our relationship, and I'd rather save that if the relationship can't be saved. So I didn't text her until later, much later. She actually ended up texting me first. But with my boyfriend, she is Tamara, by the way. With my boyfriend, I texted him like 3 or 4 days later, but he wasn't replying. So I texted his best friend, and I said, could you let so and so know I would like to talk to them? Well, would you let my boyfriend know I would like to talk to him? And I just want to hash things out so we could come to like a final conclusion. He said, yeah, well, I'll try. I haven't been able to contact him myself, really, because I believe he turned off his social media. I said, oh, okay. So I want to say what happened, like, the very next day in the morning. My boyfriend ended up texting me and was like, hey, I heard you were trying to get in contact with me. I just broke down. I logged out of everything when you had blocked me on Snapchat because, like, it really hurt me, this, and the third, yada, 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 yada. And I'm just like, okay. I said, well, I did tell him to tell you to call me, not text me. He's like, okay, I could do it right now. He called me. We set up a plan to go out to eat and hash everything out. And plus, food makes everything a little bit easier and better. So we go out to eat. We go out to Red Lobster. And, that night he was supposed to it was either that night or that next morning, he was supposed to go down to move into his dorm room at college. So we talk, we hash things out, and I'm explaining to him, I'm expressing everything as to what happened, why I felt the way I felt. He's expressed to me what happened, why he felt the way he felt, and we come to the conclusion. I said, honestly, I feel like we'd be better off as friends and maybe work on a relationship later on. He agreed. I did let him know, because I didn't let him know before, but I let him know now, that another reason why I was so uncomfortable with him texting Tamara is because one day when me and Tamara were on FaceTime, she made a comment that she thought you were cute. Why did this boy smirk? Like,
she thought I was cute. Like, she thinks I'm cute.
Like it just gassed his little head, and I'm just like, are you serious right now? Oh, all right. Yeah, that was weird. But I took a screenshot of it with my eyes so I could remember. I took a good screenshot of it with my eyes. So, that same day, we finished eating early because I had to go to work, and my job was right across the street. So, no, it wasn't. My job was not across the street. I had to go to my job. So, we finished that. We're like, we'll talk to each other later, gave each other a peck, and we went on a better day. Time goes on. A few more days went by. I didn't text Tamara. I was pretty much gonna let that situation be until maybe I eventually felt ready to text her. But she ended up texting me an apology, and I call it a half apology because in the apology she sent me, it was like she apologized, but she also blamed me in the apology. Like, if you would have just told me you did not want me to text him, I would have. It was just kind of like, if you would have done this, then it would have gone this way. And I'm going to go ahead and insert the quote-unquote apology right here. And I'm going to read it to you all. It says, Tatiana, I don't want hostility between us. I'm sorry for what I've done to hurt you. I didn't know you didn't want me to text your boyfriend because if you didn't want that, I would have stopped. If you wanted me to unadd him, I would have. If you wanted me to block him, I would have. Because I have that much respect for you and your relationship. I'm sorry for not understanding where you were coming from yesterday. Now, let me pause it right there. You just said you would have done all these things, but then you just said in the same breath you didn't understand where I was coming from yesterday. You also apologized and said, it's like you put the blame on me by saying, if you just would have said this, none of this would have ever happened. But let me continue on with the apology. I have that much respect for you and your relationship. I'm sorry for not understanding where you were coming from yesterday and for seemingly not listening to you. I'm sorry for crossing lines when talking about studying. We were playing around and we never did that to hurt you, but I know that hurt you anyways, and we shouldn't have had that conversation. I can assure you that our conversations aren't deep and that was the only time we talked about studying. Also, he never said good morning. Yes, he did, because we also discussed that in previous texts. And the only time okay, so she did say he did say good morning, but in the same text, she also said he never says good morning. Okay, that was the only time he said that as well. It's always about you and we love you, but I'm sorry for not asking about boundaries I didn't know I crossed. Again, I respect you fully and never intend to jeopardize your relationship at all. I wish you could have told me to stop talking to him. Like I said, I would have for you because I care about you. I am so sorry for your hurt. I'm sorry for hurting you, but I'm sorry for your hurt. Anyways, I decided to move past that situation, and so what I said to her was, I know that you leave for school today, and I want to wish you the best. Also, I know we have not communicated recently. However, I would like for us to be on better terms. If you would like, we can talk later today if you can. And basically, that was just me trying to, like, you just move past it because I was completely over it. Like I said, I had intentions to break up with him anyways. I just didn't expect it to happen like that. But girl, I did tell you this. I have Angelica as a witness to me telling you this. Like, I let her know I was expressing this to the both of you because she's the one that suggested it. And I'm just like, bro, I told you this over and over. I told you this so many times. I don't know why you couldn't comprehend what I was saying. Like, how? And then on the phone, I compared the situation between the reason why you and your ex broke up as to my situation that I'm in right now. And you act like you didn't understand it. So I read that text message. I was like, this is a 1.5 apology. So I didn't reply to it for about a day or two. And then I was like, you know what? I just kind of want to let the situation go. I'm over it. I don't even really care anymore. So I let her know. I said, I'm over it. Let's talk. We ended up talking later on. And we hashed things out. And I forgave her. We became friends again. But let me tell you something about this. This was like a really shaky friendship afterwards because, once trust is broken, like, you can never really get that trust back. So, we tried working on it. It just didn't work because it's like when she went off to school, she kind of acted a little different. Like, she wouldn't really be texting me back anymore. Like, I would go days without hearing from her. And I'm just like, I thought you wanted to be friends again. And, like, we was going to try to work on repairing the friendship. But it takes two to make the effort. It takes two, not one. And I was like, honestly, I could really just let this go. But things were very, very much cordial because things were just very much cordial. And, like, eventually, like, I want to say a few weeks after she had been in school, she ended up blocking me on Snapchat. So we can't say I didn't try with that friendship because in situations like that where a best friend does something like that to her friend's boyfriend, people get beat up. But, I had no intention of putting my hands on the girl. Like, I didn't feel that way towards her. I was upset with her because I felt like she should have understood where I was coming from, but, it was no hard feelings. I was like, you know what, it's over with. I want to out in a relationship anyways. However, I just want to out on my own terms. As far as my boyfriend, we ended up being friends for a good while too, until it was just like, I don't know. I just didn't see it going anywhere anymore. And, like I said, when he went off to school, he acted kind of distant, so I was like, yeah. Well, no. He felt like when I was in school, I was acting very distant, but I'm like, I have studies, I got to do this, that, and third. And I was explaining to him, like, I would have study groups, I would have to do projects, because I was a sophomore, they were freshmen, and it was just a whole lot, and eventually that whole friendship fell off, eventually. But, yeah, like I said, if you were involved in this story had no ill intent towards you. If you are offended, just click off. It's that simple. Alright guys, I love that you guys stay and listen to my story time, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.